studio. We thank you so much for joining us, and we're pleased to welcome now Austin Barbour, partner Clearwater Group and political strategist. Where in the wide world of sports are you there, Austin?
Well, I'm always happy to talk to you on vacation. Sitting in Arizona, but literally over there is Utah. And
Cool.
Gerard, trying to figure out, called Lake Powell, trying to figure out time zones here is not an easy thing to do, my friend. Over there, I think it's mountain. Here, it's what's called Mountain Standard Time. They don't celebrate
daylight.
I don't know. It's daylight savings time.
They don't
here,
change.
So,
yeah.
Oh,
man.
But I'm glad to be here, and I hope this is a good view for you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Now you make me long for headed out to the beautiful Mountain West. It's fantastic out there. I love it out there. It's awesome. All right, so well, I appreciate you calling in and being with us today from your vacation. Hope we're not interrupting too much, man. In your world, though, of politics, there's a whole bunch going on, isn't there? I just got literally, Austin, I want to share this with you, hot off the press. USA Today Suffolk poll just released. This was taken over the weekend, Friday through Sunday, just released this morning. Shows that Donald Trump has the lead. This, of course, is a national poll, 41-38 among registered voters. So that leaves a whole bunch of people that aren't accounted for, which is a little surprising. What do you think?
I hate national polls just like you do because they really don't matter. But that doesn't surprise me. I mean, and when I say they don't matter, it's the swing state polls that matter.
Agree.
Thankfully, because that's the way our system is set up. Look, I'm not surprised. You could have argued that all of these numbers would be, worse for Biden because of the performance that 55 to 60 million people saw. They saw it live. There's no telling how many people have seen the clips. My gosh, George, you can't turn on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and see all the jokes being made of his performance. And so it was a catastrophic night for Joe Biden, a historically bad night. And, let's not miss the forest for the trees here. I don't know how he recovers from it.
Right. Well, and there's all kinds of buzz coming from leaking allegedly from inside the White House, where they say he's just in a foul mood, that his staffers are afraid to be around him, that they may get accosted by him just being in his presence.
Well, Gerard, can you imagine he has this performance? I think it was the next day. Let's just say it was Friday. The debate was on Thursday. The next day, an unnamed White House source, who I don't know if they thought they were doing something that was helpful or they were trying to, help him ease out the door, said, "Oh, he's really only good from 10 to 4."
Right.
That was so that was not as damaging as the actual performance for 90 minutes, but it sure didn't help things to say, well, for 6 hours a day, he's probably going to be okay. But after that or before that, man, that's, who knows what you're getting.
It's just incredible. So what is in your professional opinion, you've been involved in this at the highest levels, your entire working career. What's going to happen? Is this guy likely to be the Democrat nominee? Is there a path to perhaps replace him? Rhino and I have broken that down and gotten our hands on everything we could find about kind of how their rules work and what the path would be. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've said for 2 years that I didn't think he would ultimately be the nominee because, just like you and I both know, and millions of other Americans, he just was declining too much from a mental capacity, a mental standpoint. He just couldn't do the job. Wasn't going to be a campaign. Wasn't going to be able to debate, and that was proven. Look, but the truth is, and I think this is right, the only way he will be replaced on the ballot is if he ultimately decides to take himself off. And I think the way that would turn out, that would happen. He gives a speech maybe the Saturday, Sunday, or Monday of leading up to the convention and just says, for my health, for the betterment of the country, I've got to step aside. I can't do this. I'm going to let the delegates of the convention choose who the nominee of the party is going to be. I'm not going to get involved. Or he gets involved and tries to handpick somebody. That's the only way this could happen. And it looks like 1976. were our friends from Mississippi at the convention, had to choose between Reagan and Carter, and our friend Clark Reed, who we all love, was very involved with that. Lots of stories have been written on Clark and his role in the '76 convention, and Billy Munger and so forth. It would look like
Right.
that, and it would be some fun television for political nerds like us, Gerard.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And then, of course, the talk about the most likely candidate, that's what the Wall Street Journal published yesterday. The likeliest replacement would be Kamala Harris. I mean, sort of by default, the vice president, one where under our campaign finance laws, his war chest could be transferred. She'd have a big old bunch of money to start out with. These other candidates don't have anything even remotely close to that much money. But she's not a popular figure.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I think it's going to be Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. Michigan, the Democrats, it's going to be tough for them to get to 270, the nominee to get to 270 without Michigan. And there, she would really help. There was a story that came out the other day where she called the Biden White House and said, hey, we're in trouble. Trump is winning Michigan right now. So she's been a governor for 6 years. She's a female. I do not think that you can replace Harris with a white male governor or senator. I just don't think in 21st century, 2024 politics, they're gonna allow that to happen. And there's some good, governors that are out there, Democrats, good in terms of electability. But look, Gerard, you know this. There are super PACs. There are the DNC. If they decide to replace him, they'll figure the money thing out.
They come up with some money. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I totally agree. And, it's interesting because this weekend I was talking to some of my friends about this possibility of a replacement. Gretchen's who I put my money on as well. Now, I don't agree with her policies, but she's pretty popular in her home state of Michigan, which is a key battleground state. She's probably got the best chance of also securing Pennsylvania, and that would make it very difficult for the Republican candidate.
No, that's right. And of course, we're not going to agree with what she has to say on politics and policy, but that doesn't mean that they're a bad candidate. And I think you're putting your money there is a smart bet. We'll see what happens. I mean, next couple of weeks are going to be really important for them, for Biden, obviously, because the pressure continues to mount. Yes, President Obama, President Clinton, James Clyburn from South Carolina, who saved Biden in the primary 4 years ago. They've all come out, but the establishment media, from the New York Times to the Washington Post to CNN to on and on, they have not pulled back their calls for him to step aside.
In fact, Clyburn doubled down, right? He came out and sort of scolded the rest of his party, said, we got to get behind this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pelosi, same thing. Of course. Go ahead, Austin.
No, I was just going to say, and I know there was a report today that came out on Twitter. You probably already saw this, where Dem governors held a conference call. Elected officials only. They keep staff off. They don't want any leaks. They want to just have a very serious conversation about their concerns for what's going on with the president, and how do they move forward? How do they communicate with him? The story said they were trying to set up a Zoom or a call with the White House. But of course, the White House is going to say, we're not answering. Who's this? Go away. Leave us alone. They're in bunker mentality. But that's why it's going to have to take somebody with the last name Biden to go to him to say, sir, it's time to step down. And that hadn't happened yet.
Do you think Barack Obama is the right person to have that conversation? Maybe start it with Jill?
I don't. Of course, I don't know. The reports that you read is that Biden was not happy with Obama in the past and his choosing of Hillary. So I don't know. That's some real inside baseball, Gerard, that you and I are not in the middle of. All we can do is just sort of read the tea leaves out there. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's fascinating. And it's sad for our country too. Let's not.
I agree. I agree. Austin, always good to talk to you, my friend. Appreciate you taking a little time out of your vacation. Fantastic backdrop. I really enjoyed seeing that. You warned me about it before the interview. It's beautiful. You guys have fun. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Gerard. Take care. Bye-bye.
Folks, we're coming right back in the Element Wealth studio.